Anna Tulisa rounds out the cast in the highly entertaining role of Johnson's grandmother, Laia Maivia. Johnson noted that the first episode, which is scheduled to premiere in January 2021, will be dedicated to his late father, who passed away earlier this year.
I'm interested in this. The thing that catches my eye is it's got 3 different ages of him, so I'm guessing like it bounces around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That could be interesting.
It could. And I don't know. I think it'll be good. I'll watch it. I'll watch the first few episodes. Give it a chance at least. Check it out.
I'll do more than I did for Big Show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't even. Well, it's called the Big Show Show.
Right, yeah. We that was enough right there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Young Rock is a pretty stupid name, but I'm at least digging the description.
Well, yeah, like I said, I probably wouldn't be nearly as sold on it if I didn't read his book when I was growing up.
Right. And I'm always looking for a good sitcom. They're hard to find. There's so many dramas, and it's like hard to find a good sitcom. So.
Yeah.
They come and they go, Pasty. They come and they go. Which, of course, brings us to goings and comings.
Yes.
And when we're talking about comings, we're talking about Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes going. Because they are no longer with Impact Wrestling. This according to a report from PW Insider. According to that report, Van Dam and Forbes left the company on good terms due to their current storylines ending. Nothing more, nothing less. Van Dam had reportedly not been under contract with Impact for a while now and had just been working on a series of short-term agreements. Van Dam had returned to Impact in early 2019, and in a recent interview with Pro Wrestling Junkies, Van Dam revealed that he is working with WWE on a couple of projects that haven't been made public yet. So not necessarily in-ring, but projects. Could be interesting.
He's the one who came up with Raw Underground.
I hope like hell not. But I think it's good. It's good he left on good terms, and he's a veteran and he's making room for the younger guys. And Katie Forbes, nobody's gonna miss her. I hate to say it, but she's just not a good.
I feel like she's dragging him down, and he's at like a lifetime slump,
like a midlife crisis.
Yeah, like it's not a good look. I haven't been into RVD like his entire time he's been back with Impact. Like none of it did anything for me.
I mean, his matches have been good, but his promos have just been this whole.
It's hard to look past the promos. I think
it is.
It just makes me. I just don't care. Like it's.
Stupid. He brought the TNA back into Impact.
So you're an old ass man who used to wrestle pretty well, who has what you consider to be a young hot girlfriend.
And she happens to have a young hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
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 We don't care. It's been done.
Yeah. Ooh-ah. Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, says he's no longer under contract with All Elite Wrestling. The wrestler on Pro Wrestling Junkies show this week to discuss his brief run with the company. Cardona was released from WWE back in April. He began a short run for AEW on July 29th episode of Dynamite. This came after the expiration of his 90-day non-compete clause. Cardona was working under a limited appearance deal. He fulfilled the agreement after AEW's All Out pay-per-view and is now a free agent once again. He may continue to wrestle for AEW or elsewhere, or perhaps do both, as some wrestlers are continuing to do. I think he's staying with AEW. Him and Cody are good friends. I don't see why he would go anywhere else. This is just a way to kind of swerve it and maybe bring him back with some kind of a character.
Right.
Because he didn't have much of a character coming in.
The only thing I'd think maybe not is because they do have so many people right now and they're not making money that maybe it's a cost-cutting thing. But then, like next year or something, they'd bring them back. I don't know. But he'll do good wherever he goes.
Yeah. I could see him doing some Impact stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see him do some New Japan stuff.
That would be fun.
I want to see if he can work on that caliber. But I just want to see him work outside of WWE, and he really hasn't had a singles match in AEW.
No, they really didn't do much.
That's where
him.
I'm like, he can't possibly be done there yet, right? Because he hasn't done a damn thing.
Yeah, it is a stacked roster at this time, though. You know,
it is.
That was kind of his problem in WWE. Also, he's kind of run into that same thing in AEW, where it's like, dude, there's so many big names and there's so many mid card names that it's hard for him to stand out. Really,
Cody versus Brody Lee in that dog collar match is gonna be awesome.
It's going to be, I would say, off the chain, but it's going to be on the chain.
It's going to be on the chain. I'm
excited for that.
Yeah.
And we can only expect buckets of blood. Am I right? I mean, come on.
He dyed his hair black though, so you'd think he was going to stop bleeding now, right? Because the blonde hair is there to make the blood look better.
It is, but I still think. I'll tell you what, if he comes out with bleach blonde hair, we know what's going on.
It's like Balor's face paint, except he bleaches his hair when he knows he's going to bleed.
He does it for that match, and then next week it's all dark again.
Next year he'll just have no hair left from bleaching it repeatedly.
Right. Oh, Pasty, here's a name that I love hearing that we haven't heard for a while. The Pope D'Angelo Dinero is going to be making his NWA Primetime Live debut next Tuesday.
Ow!
The match is Dinero and Watts versus NWA TV champion Zicky Dice and a mystery partner to be revealed.
Ew, sounds like a fun one.
I just love the Pope.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those people... Actually, I think, John, just the recent... Was it the recent... anyways, in a very recent 83 Weeks podcast with Eric Bischoff basically said he thinks the only reason that the Pope has never gotten bigger than he did is just because he's black. He said he's amazing on the mic. Nobody can hold a candle to him on the mic. He's great in ring. He can wrestle. He can do high-flying stuff. He looks like $1 million. He's got charisma and personality. He's hardworking. He doesn't have drug issues. Like, there's no reason that he's never been a top guy in any promotion. And the only thing that sets him apart from some of the other people is he's black. It's like, wow, Eric Bischoff just laid it right out there. But really, I mean, there's nothing Pope is missing. Maybe nowadays he's older, but back in the day...
Yeah.
It's sad.
It really is. I want to see him in more than just NWA, though. I think he'll do good there, but fuck. I think Pope could do good in AEW.
I think he could.
And it would be good for them to have, like, because he's an established name. I think most people know who he is, and it's not a WWE guy.
Well,
sort of, but I mean most of the accolades.
Everybody knows him. Yeah, nobody knows Elijah Burke's crap. Everybody knows D'Angelo Dinero's. Oh, I agree. I wouldn't mind seeing him return to Impact for a while either.
Yeah. According to reports from PW Insider, Peter Allen Gruner Jr., that's a hell of a name, better known as Billy Kidman.
That's why he goes by Billy Kidman.
Right. Returned to work during the tapings for last week's Friday Night SmackDown, and he is expected to continue working for the company in the coming weeks. The former Cruiserweight champion was furloughed back in April by the promotion as part of their budget cuts when the COVID-19 pandemic forced them to suspend their normal operations. Yes. So they're furloughs. That's just like their second string team now, and when people go out with COVID, they're just going to pull them back in.
Probably, yeah.
It's a rotating door of people who can get sick for Vince.
Yep. Billy Kidman, also known as the ultimate overachiever. How that guy got Tori Wilson is beyond anybody's comprehension. Doesn't make sense, Pasty.
No.
Well, something that also kind of struck people odd. Harold Meij, the president and CEO of New Japan Pro Wrestling, will be departing the company next month. In a statement released by New Japan, it was revealed that Takami Obari, who is presently CEO of New Japan Pro Wrestling America, will take over from Meij as the new president and CEO of New Japan Pro Wrestling beginning October 23rd. Meij, who was appointed president of New Japan back in May of just 2018, wrote a blog on New Japan Pro Wrestling's website and apologized to fans for resigning during the ongoing G1 Climax 30 event.
He reached his climax too soon.
I think so. One suspected reason for his departure is that Meij had initially promised $200 million in revenue for New Japan, but what with the pandemic hitting, that obviously was a much tougher task for anyone to achieve. And even without the pandemic, New Japan would have needed monster television deals and bigger expansion into the U.S. to hit those numbers. Meij was probably
He should have
somewhat
promised them 200 million yen. That's all I'm saying.
Meij was
He
probably
had
somewhat
that.
hands off with the New Japan expanding in America, as that was the focus of Obari. Another reported reason for the change was losing the TV deal in the States. New Japan had previously appeared regularly on Access TV since the end of last year. If they had decided to work with Impact Wrestling, whose parent company Anthem purchased majority interest in the channel, then New Japan Pro Wrestling would likely have stayed on Access TV. Harold Meij had previously served as vice president of Coca-Cola Japan.
Yes.
So that's a really quick turnaround for a president and CEO. That's just 2 years.
Yeah, he didn't. Why couldn't we get rid of ours that fast? What?
Right?
Yeah, no, that's it's very interesting, especially like the pandemic. You can't really hold that against anybody, right?
You know, you shouldn't, no. And
But
maybe
he
that has
also,
nothing to do with it, but-
throughout this week, I had heard that he undersold shows in the States to where they didn't book venues with enough seats or ticket capacity.
Right.
And so he cost them money just by underestimating. I'm assuming a senior VP of Coca-Cola Japan is probably not a wrestling fan and doesn't know how to run a wrestling company.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how much he undersold, but if you listen to most of the bookers, and I'll throw at least Bruce Pritchard and Eric Bischoff's names out there as people I've heard say this directly from their mouths, you'd rather have a full venue and turn fans away than to have – you'd rather have a full venue of 2,000 people and turn 1,000 away than to have a venue of 3,000 people but have 2,000 empty seats. Because not only does it look bad, but you're spending more on a venue that has more seats, and you're probably not going to make up that difference in tickets. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how much he undersold them or not, but that seems to be a positive strategy to actually, you know, don't overbook yourself. I don't know. I've never booked. I just know I have heard both of them say that they would prefer to turn people away and have a full thing than to not have a full thing at all and have everybody in there.
Yeah. In other news, Tessa Blanchard took to Instagram recently to update her fans on why she has been away from the ring. I've been away for a while, she said. The main reason is to focus on my wedding and honeymoon. The past few months I've gotten back to the basics and been focusing on relationships I have with my family, friends, and myself. The point of this post is because I'm taking back control of my narrative. I've had people weigh in on what I should do, what I should say, what interview to do, where to go. Now I want to listen to what I want and what's in my heart. Oh boy. Put that racist heart away. I'm afraid.
She's got the.
Did you hear that 2K used her likeness in the fucking new WWE Battlegrounds game? She was on a loading screen.
Yeah, I did see that. It's been removed by now, I believe, hasn't it?